Yo, what's poppin'? People, your boy Snacks is back in the building with another banger. You know how we do. You know what I'm saying? We always got to shout out you, the viewer. And thank you guys for taking the time out to watch this video. But while you're here, do us a solid. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to turn your post notification bell on. You know what I'm saying? And you know we can't do nothing. And I mean absolutely nothing without giving a big ass shout out to the wonderful ladies of the CU Aunties. So if you see a CU Auntie in the chat or in the comment section, make sure you say what's up. Because, you know, we love them damn ladies. So big ass shout out to the CU Aunties. Now, as we know, Cleveland is... Somebody always called me as soon as I start doing this. Cleveland is trying to fiddle out their coaching search. And it is what it is, but everybody has a problem with it because you got two coaches that have turned down their second interviews. One, Mike McDaniel, who has a job now, who turned down the head coaching job, not only in Cleveland, but in other areas. But Cleveland is the headliner because they have the biggest name in football right now. But it is what it is. And the question that people are wondering is it Shedeur or is it Cleveland? I say it's Cleveland, but you know how that goes. Let's talk about it. Now, being that the Cleveland Browns have let go of your boy, Kevin Stefanski, and Kevin Stefanski is now where is he at? In Atlanta. And I told y'all, Atlanta people, all my Atlanta people, I told y'all he was bringing your boy down there to be y'all offensive coordinator. You didn't want to listen to me. Your offense is going to be bad, is all I'm saying. It ain't going to move like you think it's going to move. Y'all got more talent and better players in Atlanta than they do in Cleveland, but Kevin Stefanski is not the offensive guru that everybody thinks they are. Their offense is too slow to develop, and if you don't have the pieces in place to protect your quarterback, it's going to get pretty damn ugly. But anyway, back to Shedeur and this quarterback hire. Everybody is, yeah, I think it's Cleveland. I don't think it's Shedeur. But we got some people to talk about that.
Ding you in such a way.
It's true
with a lot of these numbers because, you know, the way that these analytical, the foundational analytical numbers that they've come up with, they know you can't play quarterback in this league if you're making those kind of mistakes and turning the ball over. Like, think about how good Josh Allen is, right? And what happens when you commit? How many turnovers did he commit? You lose the game. You know, the thing that Shedeur has to improve on, or he's got no shot in this league, is those catastrophic mistakes. Coach Lance, he's talked about this. Like, Shedeur has he's demonstrated some positive attributes. The deep ball while getting hit, I mean, not every guy can do that in the league. That's important. He's got to be able to hold on to that and build on those other things. But if he cannot, you know, manage possessions, take away the catastrophic plays, and it's going to be hard for you to coach that out of him, because he in Colorado, how many of his best plays were trying to keep those crazy plays alive?
You just hit on some here. That's what I hate about the Zach Wilson conversation years ago with the Jets. When the Jets were so hell-bent on taking him, and they said, why? And they said, well, he's good in chaos. He's good in chaos. And they were mentioning Patrick Mahomes. And it's like, if you get comfortable in chaos, how are you going to work in clean pockets? Like there's times where the chaos leads to the bad habit because you're so used to people beating down on you because of your offensive line. You're so used to it. You don't necessarily know how to act when you have a clean pocket. And so when you're bringing that up, that is one of my concerns. That is one of my concerns with him.
But even though that shouldn't be a concern, not when it comes to Shedeur, because Shedeur is able to adapt, but you have to get a coach in place first to determine how the offense is going to operate. Right now, Cleveland is in a flux state. They are in the waiting stage because two of the coaches that they want to talk to or interview are still in the playoffs. And it won't be until next Monday, until after this weekend, after these NFC and AFC championship games, to where you can talk to those coaches and then figure out what you're going to do, who you're going to hire. Jim Schwartz seems to be the requisite candidate for what they want to do. The question is Jim Schwartz going to be the head coach with a coach in waiting, or will he be a defensive coordinator and the assistant head coach if they hire one of these young offensive guys? Because if they hire the young offensive guy, they're going to need that ready-made coach that has been in the league, that has been a head coach, that has sat in that seat, able to help these young guys along. And then they're going to have to hire an offensive and defensive staff, including a coordinator, including assistant coaches and quarterback coaches and all of these things in order to move along. But we're going to let G. Bush talk about it.
We did this less than a year ago. We brought in Flacco, the veteran. We wanted a reclamation project in Kenny Pickett. We drafted a young guy who we thought was a developmental project in Shedeur-Sanders. And then we drafted another guy who we thought could be a higher ceiling backup type guy in Dylan Gabriel. That turned out disastrous. I want to bring the new coordinator in. And my thought process is, if I got confidence in who I'm hiring as a coordinator and I believe in those guys, I also have to believe that they are going to get the best versions out of those guys that I have in my room.
Sure.
And if they don't, if we put our cars behind somebody for 2026 and it don't work, guess what you get the opportunity to do? I guarantee this. If Shedeur-Sanders played in 2026, they put everything around him, gave him pieces and parts, and it didn't work out. There is no excuse for nobody, whether you support him or not, to say, I see why the Browns got to go in 27 to get a quarterback.
Yeah. You got to put the pieces around him. You got to put the pieces in place. But Cleveland is lacking in so many areas on the offensive side of the ball this season that it's going to be damn near impossible to put this offense together in 1 year. Shedeur-Sanders is good enough to do the job. My question is, why aren't they talking to Antonio Pierce? Why hasn't Antonio Pierce been interviewed for the Cleveland job? Because if Antonio Pierce would have been the head coach of the Raiders last year, Shedeur would have been in Las Vegas. There's no doubt. Antonio said that when he was being interviewed by, I think he was on NFL. I got that clip. Matter of fact, we just gonna pull it up and let Antonio Pierce remind us that Shedeur would have been his quarterback if he would have been in Las Vegas this year. But they need to interview Antonio Pierce. And then if Jim Schwartz is not going to stay, go get, what's his name, that was just fired in Atlanta to be your defensive coordinator and get your offensive coordinator and go to work. It's just that simple. Let's listen to Antonio.
When I was at the Raiders, he was one of our top choices. If I would have stayed there, there's no way he goes to the 5th round. I'm making that choice and the decision that we're drafting. Mark Davis was on board with that. Our organization was on board. We believed in what we saw.
You heard him. Mark Davis was on board with that. Let's just go get Shedeur.
With Shedeur, and it's all enough. Obviously, what the situation I dealt with the quarterbacks. But one thing about Shedeur that I think we see all the glitz, the glamour, hitting the watch and what time it is and all that is. He's born for this. His pedigree is that for moments of this magnitude that he's going into. And again, it's against the Raiders team that's struggling, right? But the guy plays well. It's just that he's Deion's son. And we overly criticize this kid from day one. And it started in the draft. And again, you might not like his persona. You might not like his aura about himself. But Cleveland does. Every time he comes to the game, those fans, they go nuts. They go nuts. And he's a guy that I think is going to bring some excitement. I think he's going to bring some energy and some life to an organization that has struggled for so long at the quarterback position. And
that's right. Shedeur is that guy. That's who they need to go get. Why haven't you interviewed Antonio Pierce for this job? They interviewed him in New York. I know that was just to get past the Rooney Rule and all that crap, but Antonio Pierce is a viable candidate to be in Cleveland. And I promise you, he would take this job because he wanted to coach Shedeur, because he sees what Shedeur can be. But the question is Cleveland willing to put forth the effort to build up around their quarterback? Regardless of who's going to be quarterback, you have to build this offense. The offense is lacking. They have no offensive linemen signed right now, currently. No offensive linemen. The couple that they do have are hurt. So they have to completely rebuild this offensive line. They need help in the wide receiver room. They're going to be good at running back, but you still can use one or two, but you still need some receivers. If the Njoku's coming back to match with Fanning, then that's great. But are you going to spend that money on Njoku so him and Fanning can go side by side and match up? Is Cleveland willing to spend the money or invest in the players on the offensive side of the ball to be able to compete? That's the question. Y'all tell me. Y'all let me know. Oh, yeah. Do not forget to go get your shirts. If you went and got your shirts, y'all let me know if you got your N12 We Trust shirts or the new Cleveland shirts or the Shedeurian shirt. We got that in cursive and in print. So, shirts, let me know. Leave it in the chat. Or if you're finna grab a shirt, let me know in the chat. And, you know what I'm saying? I think we got 10% off in the shop right now. Check the link in the description. Or check that. I think I have it pinned as the first comment in the comment section. Y'all let me know, man. And let me know what y'all think Cleveland gonna do. Are they gonna build up around Shedeur? Are they willing to invest? Or are they gonna wait on their quarterback again and again? I don't know, man. Y'all let me know. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Holla at your boy. Don't forget to turn your post notification bell on. Click one of these videos up top right here. Subscribe right there. Hit the little star button. Holla at your boy. I'm out of here. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Peace.